here with Wanderers manager Marc White for our weekly catch-up. How you doing, Marc?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. Well, there's really only one place to start. Obviously, you know, defeat last night at Wealdstone means that relegation is incoming. You've had a few hours to digest things. You know, how are you feeling?
Yeah, very. I'm feeling in a defiant place, really. To be fair, I'm very, very proud of the club. Very proud of what the club's achieved. You know, I think when you strip it back, I mean, because I'm so kind of like vulnerable, like I'll just put out there how much I want to win, and I'll put out there how much I challenge us. You know. And maybe we don't put out there maybe quite as much as we should, the reality of the situation for us as a small club. But we, in reality, part-time team goes into full-time league. In this particular season, our players have been unavailable for 250 games between them due to injury, and a combination of the part-time aspect and that really huge factor have meant we've come up short. If getting relegated is coming up short in a really difficult full-time league, I think in reality we have overachieved significantly to get where we've got to. We've overachieved in our first season in the division. We've brought incredible moments to the club, its followers, its supporters, with famous victories. Notts County last year, 2 promoted teams we beat, and home and away we beat all sorts of sides and competed on the very, very highest level. We are ultimately the biggest overachievement in British football. That is the bottom line. That is where it is. Maybe we don't shout about that enough. Lots of people, fortunately, do shout about that for us, so we don't really need to talk about it. But there is no bigger overachievement in British football history than Dorking Wanderers Football Club, that was a park team, sponsored by a pub, paying £50 to rent a pitch, that has ended up going to play on television against established football clubs all over the country, and won over millions of friends. And I think it's really important that we have to measure the situation correctly. That is the bottom line. Any part-time team getting promoted this season, you know, it'd be seen as success to finish 4th bottom, or 5th bottom, should I say. And if they didn't, it'd be a case of, meh, well, you know, what did we expect? So in reality, we've overachieved on a significant level to get where we've got to. No one, well, many people close to the club, but not everybody would understand what type of work ethic that's taken from all of those within the club, the volunteers, the committee, to be able to find a ground to play at, to build a stadium. We've had to do 2 ground gradings in the last 3 years. We've had to find in the region of £1.5 million to even compete with the stadium rebuild. That's before we've even signed a player. So for me, I think in reality, I see it as disappointing, obviously, because we all want better. And obviously, you know, realistically, even though we're part-time, even though we had that horrific amount of games that players missed, we only came up a little bit short. You know, a few decisions, ball over the line at Oldham, and bad refereeing decisions at Bromley, and you know, your 4 points, you know, another day of the week you could be in a different position in a tough league. So it's a shame, it's disappointing, but we've overachieved on another level. The club's overachieved, I've overachieved. Our success is unprecedented, and it's so warming. The amount of support that the club gets and I get is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, because fortunately most people fully understand the enormity of the success that we've created, and I feel like it's given us an appetite for more. We've already known our weaknesses. You know, we've obviously John Bynes has come in, our chief exec. We've had a restructure behind the scenes. We've been planning a restructure on the field. We already know where we need to be. So it's not news to us in terms of what we need to do as a club at all. So, yeah, my thoughts are quite simple, really, quite defiant, really, which is I'm extremely proud, but really of everybody in the club, especially the supporters and people that aren't afraid to latch on to what the club's trying to achieve, the neutral football fan. And I'm very proud of what everybody stands for at the club. What do I see moving forward? I see an appetite for more success. I see me on the phone since 4:30 this morning. I see me sitting on a coach today to Rochdale, planning how many points we can win next year's league by. I see how many more fans we can improve, we can get in the ground week in, week out next year, watching us be successful. I see us building an infrastructure that can support, at the high level of football that we desire to be at. That's what I see. And and I think it is a positive vibe we've got around the place. I think it's great that we're there to be knocked down, because if we weren't there to be knocked down, then we wouldn't be as successful as we have been, if that makes sense. We set our standards high. We put ourselves out there to be shot at, But in reality, this club has achieved remarkable things, possibly that will never be repeated in British football history. And we're not done. We're not done in a million years. And, obviously you're going to get the odd dickhead or two. And I've seen a couple of agents and stuff like that. But anyone, who disrespects what this club's done, just come down here and do it to my face, and we'll have a chat about it. That's not a problem. But I'd imagine if anyone doesn't understand the enormity of Dorking Wanderers and what it's achieved, me, my management team, the committee, the volunteers, the locals, the wider audience, then they probably don't get football, or they probably just care to have a little moan up and come out to play if they think they've got that type of negativity. So it would be absolutely fucking ridiculous for anybody to ever look at Dorking Wanderers and see anything else other than the most enormous success in football in history. And that is why we've got unprecedented support. And that will continue. And we won't be without our challenges moving forward, no doubt. It's football changes. I'm sure the league below has got different dynamics and different challenges. There are clubs to respect and acknowledge will be, our next rivals. But let's face it, Dorking Wanderers will be the favourites in the league below next year. From minute one, if someone wants to win that league, they know they're going to have to beat Dorking Wanderers. That's the bottom line. And this is a club that, let's remember, was playing in a football match that got called off by Shetland Pony in the Crawley District Division 5 not too long ago.
That's it, exactly. Well, thank you, Mark, for that. Appreciate it.
Was that about 25 minutes?
No, not so much. But obviously we have still got some football to play, starting tomorrow at Rochdale, and then next Saturday, Hartlepool at home, and then that's obviously the season done. Yes,
I mean, I want to invite all the fans. The players will be staying behind for a drink, basically, in short, to see the fans. I'm going to stay behind. I want to pack out the Hartlepool game down here, pack it out, come down and show you support for the club. I think that shows. I mean, I've always had a lot of respect for football clubs that have support, win, lose or draw. I think that's the consummate supporter. It'd be great to see people, it'd be the last opportunity to see football at Meadowbank for some time. It'd be good if people could just put this in their diary for next Saturday, and then we'll have a drink afterwards and we'll toast the new chapter in the story together, and we'll move forward. So hopefully we'll pack out Hartlepool. For those that go to Rochdale, likewise, incredible efforts. I'm sure we'll get lots of our northern fans go, as well as I know we've sold 40-odd on our supporters coach, and people will go direct for the weekend. So I'll be sure to go over tomorrow and see everybody in the crowd and say thanks. That's the bottom line. But, we've got an incredible team behind the scenes here now. Infrastructure's better than ever, bigger than ever. Yeah, we are excited, but we're not stupid. We need to, you know, there are still challenges the club faces. It's where we play, the pitch, the injury record on the pitch, which is not fit for purpose. We've got lots of challenges, but we've always had challenges. So I don't think the challenges at all dismiss when we're not successful. I think we're used to challenges, but we've got things we need to work through. But we're excited. So yeah, look forward to seeing all the fans. That's where we are with it. Yeah, yeah, exciting stuff. Really, to be honest, that's where we are. Five man hours later, we're back in the sort of very excited department.
Absolutely. Well, I know as somebody who works with you, the messages last night and from this morning, you were straight on it. So
yeah, that's how it's got to be. You know, we've listen. If you want to talk strategical, you know, we've 250 games, you know, missed by players to injuries would have been the failure of the task for sure. And that's got to be worth 5 or 6 points, hasn't it? Let's face it, if not more. But also, in honesty, Seeger going back at the timing was a bad decision on my behalf, definitely. And, you know, one thing I've learned this year is, apart from and again, I'm always uber critical. That's just me, because that's what makes you successful, is to tear the arse out of it, pardon the pun. But, you know, hearts and minds are what you need on football pitches. Have all of our signings this year had the hearts and minds that Wanderers players have past had. Not so sure they have. I think we'll be doing a lot of work on that today, moving forward. Equally, when you looked at the amount of players that weren't available last night, and the common theme was they were all boys that have been here 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and you'd have died for some of them to be on the pitch last night, and we didn't have the availability. So, yeah, we know what we're trying to do here. We know where we need to get back to. Brilliant brand of football. Wanderers, you know, cut them open, stick a rock, Wanderers spirit going through them. Get rid of a few that maybe don't have that going through them. But also build an infrastructure that supports the level of football we want to get to. Mm-hmm. So we're in a good place. That's where we are, mate. And I appreciate your support, Chris. All the committees, incredible. And, of course, all the supporters. I mean, I'm not sure you see that many neutral supporters support any other club over and above us, and it's touching, and it's the biggest homage to the work that we're all doing, and long may it continue. And you know, we can't wait for those few that don't get it. We can't wait to say fuck off the next time we're winning, and I wouldn't bet against that.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, Mark, I'll let you crack on.
Cheers, mate.
Anyone watching who does want to join us at Rochdale tomorrow, there is still a handful of seats on the sports coach, only £25 return.
Or want to come down to the Hartlepool game to tell us why we've not been successful in our club history.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
To come and tell me personally.
Yeah. The offer is there. You made
Correct.
that clear. So,
yes.
yeah, all right. Well, look, Mark, enjoy tomorrow for the record. Enjoy next Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up again soon.